All right, meteorologist Joey Sovine here at the Live 5 Alert Desk with an update of what's going on in the tropics as things have gotten busier in recent days. Here we are Tuesday morning, and we're watching the potential development, most likely down in the Gulf of Mexico, and another disturbance off of our coastline. We'll talk about that because that may eventually bring some changes to our weather down the road, but that is looking less likely to develop over time. Now, this is a look down in the Gulf of Mexico, and what we're looking at here on the satellite imagery as we put things into motion over the last couple of hours is a large spin in that general area there down in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche. We do have a couple of small areas embedded within that of rotation. So essentially, one centralized area of low pressure has not developed, at least a low level center at this point in time. So this is not a tropical system at this point in time. In fact, this is considered now from the National Hurricane Center what's called a potential tropical cyclone, and this is the first one of this season. I know that it's a lot of terminology that you're probably not used to. They've used it for the past couple of years. The word cyclone's a little confusing because we don't usually use that with storms in the Atlantic basin. But here we go. This is essentially allows the National Hurricane Center, because of the proximity to land, to issue advisories and tropical storm warnings in advance of a storm actually developing, because if they waited for it to develop, there wouldn't really be much of a heads up time because this is going to be moving on shore very quickly. So this is what they call potential tropical cyclone number one, a fancy name for, once again, a storm that hasn't developed yet. But this is forecast to become a tropical storm. Alberto is the name, and you can see there's a forecast track now on this, and this puts this storm system moving on shore Wednesday night on the coast of Mexico. Now, tropical storm warnings are up north of there, even into parts of Texas, where there should be some heavy rainfall on the northern side of this and some gusty winds as well. Here's a look at Future Tracker, and what you'll be able to see is that broad spin there becoming a little bit more localized, or a little bit better defined with time as this storm system right there moves on shore once again Wednesday night into Thursday, and then moves inland across Mexico. There may be some redevelopment in that same general area as we go into the weekend and early next week. So that is highlighted again in yellow, not for what's going on right now, but for what may develop down the road. That's down in the Gulf of Mexico. But we're watching this right here. Notice this X on the screen. This is a disturbance that is out over the Atlantic Ocean to the north and east of the Turks and Caicos and well east of the Bahamas. But this will be moving westward with time. So essentially what's going to happen is a very disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms, and tropical moisture is going to come westward. You can see the odds are in favor of this not developing as this comes towards the southeastern coastline, but it could help to enhance, or at least bring in, the chance of a few showers and storms. We're in a really dry pattern, so enhancing that rain chance is really not a bad thing as long as this doesn't develop a whole lot, which is not anticipated at this time. Here's a look at Future Tracker with this storm, and it keeps it once again very kind of disheveled looking as we go out. This is Thursday, and this is a very ragged appearance here on the radar as far as what's going to be moving westward toward the southeastern coastline. I think this moisture will likely be closest to our area on Friday and early Saturday. Now, out ahead of this, I think my biggest concern this week will be what's already going on at the beaches, and that's that we have an onshore wind due to high pressure to the north that's creating a moderate risk of rip currents. So yesterday, today, moderate risk of rip currents. Forecast to become a high risk tomorrow due to even stronger, gustier winds tomorrow along the coast. So today's a day where even if you're an experienced swimmer, I wouldn't go out as far as you normally do, and be aware that there could be some rip currents out there. The kids, if you're an inexperienced swimmer, stay in the really shallow stuff today. Just play it safe. We have some breakers coming in 3 to 4 feet, and that onshore wind that's making the water choppier than normal out there at 15 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Now tomorrow, and I'll show you this with Future Tracker showing the wind gusts, you can see those about 20 miles per hour today. today. But as we look ahead to tomorrow afternoon, notice this kind of orange shaded area right along the coast. That starts to indicate where we're getting wind gusts right along the coastline, maybe over 30 miles per hour. And that's enough to raise the rip current concern up to high tomorrow. And that means that's going to be a no swimming day out at the beaches. It's just a day where there's too high of a risk that there could be some rip currents out there, lots of rip currents for that matter. So we just have to play it safe. We don't get a lot of those days in the summer months, but when we do, we just need to err on the side of caution, maybe a better pool than a beach day tomorrow. So wanted to give you a first alert on that. Once again, that's for tomorrow. Likely to still have some rip current concerns later this week as well. And of course, we'll keep you updated on that as we get closer. But right now, two areas we're watching in the tropics. The one that's going to have some impacts on us, perhaps with a slight uptick in the rain chance, that is less likely, thankfully, to develop. That one down in the Gulf of Mexico, thankfully, has a short lifespan ahead of it, as it may become a tropical storm later today. But it only basically has tomorrow still out over the water before it eventually makes landfall Wednesday night into the coast of Mexico and will likely bring some heavy rain into parts of Texas. We'll keep you updated on all things tropics, and don't forget the latest on the tropics and your local forecast is always available on the Live 5 First Alert weather app. Have a good day.